Hello, and welcome to the I've Seen Everything Reaction Wrap-Up podcast. Here is where I share my thoughts, reactions, and review for my latest reaction videos. To find these full reaction videos, please search for @SeenEverything over on YouTube, or check the description of this podcast for more information. Also, please remember to rate and comment on this episode, and follow the podcast so you can see when I'm putting out new wrap-ups. And now, on to my latest wrap-up for Obsession. I honestly don't know what that's gonna look like, that whole reaction. I don't know how much I looked up. I don't know how much I looked at the camera. I don't remember what I said. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to edit that into anything coherent. It's a strange thing doing videos like this because you have to talk. Again, it's hard to believe for people who watch these things, but when I watch stuff on my own, I don't say anything. There's no one to talk to, but I watch, I absorb everything. I'm going to be watching this again because my wife wants to watch it. So I'm wondering how much more different an experience I'll have the next time around. But you have to say stuff. And so what I end up doing is kind of processing. Like if I have emotional reactions, that's one thing, but I just end up kind of processing what I'm thinking, what I think is coming, what I think is happening, what I think things mean. And I was at a loss with this so many times along the way. So many times I didn't understand where we were going or what was happening. And that is great. That is incredible. That is to do something like that in a space like this. Again, it's not to say nobody else does that. We've had other people do that. But I'm always impressed when somebody finds another new way to do it. And I did not know where this was going pretty much the whole way through. Every time you had a sense of what was going to happen, it shot a different direction or something came out of nowhere. Even the thing with Sarah, I suspected something was about to happen to Sarah just from the framing. They had Bear's shot where it was centered on Bear. Like he was the center of the frame. There wasn't really space for anything else around him. They had Sarah's shot framed in this weird way where she was kind of off to the side and they kind of had enough space, like as if another person was going to be there without them having to reframe the shot. So that was a little visual hint. Didn't mean it was for sure going to happen, but it was like, that's kind of odd. Regardless of that, regardless of any hint that I might have had that something was coming, I did not expect what happened. I did not expect for it to be as fast and ferocious and violent as it was. No, not even close. Who could? Who could see that coming? Man, I think that horror fans are in for a lot of really fun experiences with Curry Barker going into the future. With one important caveat, they need to not go in expecting to feel the same thing that they felt in Obsession again, every time. Again, this is what happens when you have somebody and their kind of breakout movie. It's like, oh, well, make me feel that again. It's like, no. You want somebody that can show you something new each time, but that it can be interesting, that it can take you to yet another new place in the way that this person knows how to do that. I think that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies are in good hands with him because he's also a fan, like a devoted fan of horror. Like I even watched something with him where he talked about he's watched all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies that had been done, all the different iterations of it, all the different adaptations, sequels, all of it. There's other people who say, oh, I don't want to watch any of that. I just want to like go at it fresh on my own. It's like, well, I actually kind of like the idea more of someone doing that because it's like they're trying to come up with something different. It's like I don't want to show them what they've seen before. I want to show them something they haven't seen before. Same thing, but in this new way. But even with that, even with what I said, don't expect him to do Obsession in all of his movies. He's even said they can make more Obsession movies, and they absolutely can, and they absolutely should, because they have the perfect catalyst in the One Wish Willow. And there are so many different stories that could be told about somebody not taking it seriously and it going horribly wrong, or somebody knowing that it works and taking it seriously and it's still going horribly wrong. I mean, there's no limit to the directions you could go. You did know that once he was told that the only way to break the wish was he needed to die for that to happen, you knew that was either going to happen or you knew that that she was going to go. Honestly, when he was sitting there at the end before he went into the bathroom especially because he'd been on this kind of selfish run. Again, all this stuff had happened, and he had moments where he could have done the right thing, or at least he could have done something else that showed that he cared about something other than himself, and he didn't show that. I expected in that moment when he was sitting there for him to take the gun and for him to use it on her. He would have been doing what real Nikki said she wanted when she was able to finally speak to him, but he also would have been doing it in a way to protect himself, although I don't know what he was going to do with this whole situation. I don't know what she's going to do with this whole situation. She was a completely innocent bystander in all of this. That's the thing that's hard to remember through this, but you have to, is that she's not the one in control. She's being tortured. She is trapped. She's in a prison. She's being victimized here. Her body is being used by whatever this force is to do all of these things. It's not her. And she's experiencing something in there. I mean, again, you heard her on the phone screaming. Now, she is back, but she's gone through all this stuff. She's injured. Her face is cut up. This thing bashed her in the head with a brick that almost tried to take her out, threatened to take her out multiple times, has killed 2 other people who are there. That is, as far as the cops are going to be concerned, by Nikki's hand. I mean, don't look for justice in horror movies, but what happens to Nikki now? And as in leading into that, I have heard Curry Barker say that, at least in his next movie, Anything But Ghosts, there's going to be a reference to like an Easter egg about what happened to Nikki. But I think he said in the extended version of this, there's like some indication as to what happened to Nikki as well. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they tie that up. I'm sure it'll be some footnote in another story. But, I scrubbed through. I didn't see a post-credit here. So I'll check again when I'm done here and see if I find anything. But, man, one thing I did want to come back to that I said earlier on in my reaction. I said that I had an idea, just off of my limited knowledge going into this, of what the whole thing with the One Wish Willow was, of how he could have used it that would have been less predatory and hopefully wouldn't have ended up in something like this. Although it's dangerous using it for anything, and you probably just shouldn't use it at all. But also using it this way wouldn't make for a very good movie. It's like you have a situation like that. This is like some childish wish that a kid says about his crush. Like, oh, I wish this person loved me more than anybody. If you have something like that and you care about Nikki, genuinely do, what you do is you wish for the confidence to this one time tell her how you feel. Tell her that you have feelings for her. Or you just wish to know, does she have feelings for you too? I mean, it seems like those would be the kind of 2 surface level things where you're not wishing for something to happen to another person. You're wishing for you to be able to be more confident to be able to say it to her, or to at least know, does this person like me too? But to be honest, with the way this movie went, those could have gone wildly off the rails as well. So who knows? But man, it's not just the wish he made. I mean, that was the biggest problem. And again, I think you can almost forgive that a little bit. You walk into something like that, you don't know that's actually going to work. You don't know that's actually going to happen. It's one of these throwaway things that people do. But some of the ways he handled it afterwards, some of the ways he chose to react, showed some deeply problematic stuff about who he was and what his priorities were. So even after like a bunch of stuff had happened, when she was finally able to talk to him. Anyway, I feel like I could keep going, and I've already gone on about this for a long time. Thank you for being here to watch this one with me. I'm glad that I finally got to watch it. Appreciate you being along for the ride with me. It was a wild ride. I'm going to go watch something else as a palate cleanser, and I will see you on the next video. Take care. Thanks so much for listening to the I've Seen Everything Reaction Wrap-Up. Again, to find these full reaction videos, please search for @SeenEverything over on YouTube, or check the description of this podcast for more information. Also, please remember to rate and comment on this episode and follow the podcast so you can see when I'm putting out new wrap-ups. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll meet you here for the next episode.